News 25 is brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Nevada desert turns into a winter wonderland, and Nye County looks into noise control ordinances. News 25 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 25 with Eunette Gentry. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
The latest winter storm blowing through Nevada causes traffic accidents and delays. It's Thursday, February 21st. I'm Eunette Gentry. Well, the last 24 hours have been wreaking havoc with travelers on southern Nevada roads. What NHP is calling Snowpocalypse 2019 hasn't been seen here in years in the Silver State.
Snowfall across southern Nevada has caused road closures, traffic, and flight delays. NHP is reporting an increase in traffic accidents due to snow and icy roads and low visibility. Highway 160 was closed last night for 2 hours because of snow on the roadway. Travelers took Highway 95 in and out of our area. The freeways today in Las Vegas were packed with vehicles. Some were stuck in the snow, some lost control and went off the roadway, and some crashed into each other. The 95 freeway near mile marker 35 was closed today by Nevada Highway Patrol because of weather. Travelers are being directed back to Las Vegas. Only four-wheel drive vehicles and chains were recommended to travel on Highway 160 this afternoon in Mountain Springs. The storm is expected to continue until Friday morning.
And the Las Vegas office of the National Weather Service says as much as 7 inches of snow has fallen in the western regions of the Las Vegas Valley and 2 feet in areas of the Spring Mountains National Recreation Area. For the latest weather information, you can go to the National Weather Service's website at weather.gov. And a mix of more rain and snow is expected in the Las Vegas Valley tonight when temperatures drop. Officials recommend that residents avoid any unnecessary travel while snow is on the roadways. And if you must drive, remember that streets are slick and you should consider these tips. Use extreme caution when driving in snow and ice, and drive slowly, allowing for greater braking distances. Remember to accelerate and brake gradually, and warm up that car before leaving. And always take the time to clean off any snow and ice from your vehicle windows to increase your visibility. And if you're coming from remote areas, remember to drive with a full tank of gas and a cell phone, and also carry blankets, water, and any sustainable food in case of emergencies. Well, a change in the noise control ordinance makes a brief appearance in front of the Board of County Commissioners.
The Board of County Commissioners had an item on their agenda at their meeting this past week regarding a bill proposing to amend or reject the Nye County Code Title IX addressing noise control. The board rejected the amendment unanimously after receiving an overwhelming response from the public who were opposed to the changes to the noise control ordinance. According to Nye County Commissioner Leo Blendo, they have decided to rescind the proposal and further examine the possible changes.
And stay tuned right here to News 25. We'll have the very latest on Samsung's new smartphone. We'll be right back.
News 25 is brought to you by Preferred RV, the only place where you can swim year-round. For more information, go to preferredrv.com.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Samsung's latest phone is now released to the masses. That and more in your Business First Brief with Angela Miles.
Topping our news, the Fed is feeling uncertain about the economy. The minutes from the latest FOMC meeting show Federal Reserve policymakers will remain patient on raising rates. The 10-year Treasury barely budged on that report. Southwest Airlines is attempting to get back on track. Wednesday, the airline canceled more than 400 flights. It's connected to an ongoing feud with the mechanics union. The mechanics have been in contract negotiations now for more than 6 years, and Samsung is sparking competition against Apple. Samsung released 4 new phones this week, including the Galaxy Fold. The price tag is nearly $2,000. The phone will be available April 26th. Just one other mention. Lyft is making a drive toward the stock market. According to the Wall Street Journal, the taxi app company plans to list on the NASDAQ. The IPO filing could happen as early as next week.
Thanks, Angela. And speaking of new technology, scientists are now using drones to help survey areas that are possibly contaminated.
The Pelican site in Paiute Mesa, or Area 20, is a good place for the Nevada National Security Site and Virginia Tech to test unmanned aircraft systems. This allows scientists to survey contamination areas from safe distances. Scientists recently used unmanned aircraft, or drones, to navigate the site of the Plowshare program. Scientist Paul Gus from the Nevada National Security Site explains why this is important.
If there were a nuclear detonation, you would have to send people in to get samples. You don't want to waste the radiation exposure sending people to the wrong sites. With the UAS, you can determine what are the right sites to go in and get your samples. We understand that if there were a detonation, we would want to know who did it very quickly.
Andrew Morgan, who is a pilot from Virginia Tech, talks about the drone's abilities.
We're going to be flying a prototype H3D Apollo radiation detector, which uses CZT crystals around and over and possibly in the Palanquin crater to survey the plume and contamination area.
So Virginia Tech has a unique system in the sense that we've never tried that system here at the site. They have the ability to send 2 aircraft up in the air at once. They use one to direct the other. And so by sending one aircraft directly over the operator, they can now send the signals to the aircraft that makes the measurements. They can control it and navigate it and send the data back through the relay.
It's a custom aircraft specifically for this site.
You don't have a device like an aerial system or UAS, then you're putting people in harm's way to get that data. And so you're incurring a health risk to people. This is an important technique to understand where you would go to do your sampling. You could go in and do this type of measurement. So it demonstrates that ability for nuclear forensics and attribution, and we're establishing that capability here at the NNSS.
And today's JAMA report is discussing opioids and the risk benefits and their help with chronic pain.
The CDC estimates that 50 million adults in the United States live with chronic pain, many of whom take opioids for their symptoms. Updated data on the benefits and harms of opioid use for treating chronic pain is important in light of estimates that up to 12 million people misused opioids in 2017, the vast majority of whom were misusing prescription opioids. This week in JAMA, we have a systematic review and analysis of randomized trials comparing the effects of opioids versus placebo and other drugs for chronic non-cancer pain.
The primary outcomes of the meta-analysis were pain intensity, physical functioning, and incidence of vomiting. The meta-analysis included 96 randomized clinical trials with a total of over 26,000 participants, and the researchers report that compared with placebo, opioid use was associated with reduced pain and improved physical functioning. But the magnitude of the associations was small. Opioids reduce pain severity by a weighted mean difference of 0.69 centimeters on the visual pain scale, with a modeled risk difference for achieving the minimally important difference of 1 centimeter equal to 11.9%. opioids improve physical functioning by a weighted mean difference of 2.04 points on the SF-36 scale, with a modeled risk difference for achieving the minimally important difference of 5 points of 8.5%. Opioid use was also significantly associated with increased vomiting. Furthermore, low to moderate quality evidence suggested that NSAIDs, tricyclic antidepressants, and anticonvulsants were associated with improvements in pain and physical functioning similar to opioids. And in 6 trials that compared different doses of opioids, there was no clear demonstration of a dose-response effect for pain, functional recovery, or adverse GI events. The authors conclude that opioid use was associated with statistically significant but small improvements in pain and physical functioning, and increased risk of vomiting compared with placebo. Comparisons of opioids with non-opioid alternatives suggested that the benefit for pain and functioning may be similar. An accompanying editorial points out that the outcomes reported in the study are likely to represent the best-case scenario because 72% of the included studies excluded patients with current or prior substance use disorder, and 47% of the studies excluded patients who had a diagnosed mental illness or who were taking a psychotropic medication. However, this is often not the case in the clinical setting.
And when News 25 returns, we'll tell you about a recent dispute with a local marijuana facility owner and county officials.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
Welcome back. The owner of a marijuana facility on the south side of Pahrump was found to be in violation by county officials.
During an investigation on January 30th, the Nye County Sheriff's Office and Code Compliance found violations occurring inside of a medical marijuana facility located on Oak Ridge Avenue. It was discovered that the owner, Peter Necco, transferred ownership without approval by the board. An audit of fees paid to the Nye County Treasurer also shows that the owner was delinquent in submitting monthly business license sales fees. Both the medical and recreational sales fees have not been received since July of 2018. The Board of County Commissioners discussed at their last meeting the revocation of the medical and recreational marijuana licensing for the facility.
I did not intend to transfer this license or go through the sale until I came to the County Commissioners, but the state took 7 months to do the approval. I could have come to you in a month and a half and had the whole thing done. So I figured I'd wait until I got their approval, send a copy of their approval with the request for change, and at that time we could take care of it correctly. I was not trying to avoid the change, but the state unfortunately decided to change ownership, take away my marijuana tax type license and taxable account and everything else, and I am stuck out on the far side of nothing until it gets done. Mr. Hernandez had admitted that it was done in error, and at this time we're supposed to get it back. If I can get Steve Gilbert and Shannon Snow at the tax department to get this stuff done for me, we should get it back before the end of the month, and I can get it renewed and everything will be done.
What Mr. Necco said is mostly correct. The process is, if you look at the transfer of ownership form from the state, the instructions clearly state that you have to have approval from the state prior to executing any kind of contract. They did transfer the name of ownership prior to us actually concluding a sale. We have not closed yet on that side, so that was made an error on the state's part. However, we were immediately continuing our conversations with Farhad, who is the landlord, as well as with Green Cross of America, Inc., to conclude both the sales and have those all completed in order to perfect the license transfer.
I'd like to make a motion I'm going to give you guys 30 days to figure this out, because it's either the state screwed up or Mr. Necco, you made a very big mistake. It's one or the other. And right at the moment, I'm not very happy with the current situation. Let me just be on the record stating that. Because what you're doing is you're almost making me put the sheriff and put undue burden on code compliance and the sheriff, because they're going to have to spend resources and manpower to address the situation that was inadvertently created. Whether because you were doing business or being incompetent, I can't really tell the difference right now. I am not happy about this situation. But I'm going to give you guys 30 days You guys can either figure it out, the license is either going to be back in your name, or it's this transfer is going to go through and it's going to be with Exhale. I recognize that the state potentially put the cart before the horse on there, and that's my motion.
The motion to give the owner a 30-day extension was seconded and passed 3-1.
Yes, it's winter and snow and ice are on the ground, but it's almost time for spring cleaning. So today's Angie's List is about deep cleaning.
Tabitha Sells has cleaned houses for 6 years. On a standard job, she dusts, disinfects, and vacuums. Occasionally, a client wants more, and that's when she and her crew get rid of the dust and grime we hardly even knew was there.
We'll open the cabinet doors and clean the inside of the cabinet doors and that ledge where just stuff collects over time. We clean the inside of all the appliances, refrigerator, oven, microwave. We clean the baseboards thoroughly and we polish them afterwards.
Spring is a great time to consider having your house deeply cleaned, and usually you should be doing that every 2 to 3 months, especially if you're getting ready to sell your house at a time that you want to make sure you have it done.
Deep cleaning means cleaning from top to bottom, literally.
We do anything up high, and it doesn't matter how high it is, we will clean it. Exhaust fans, ceiling fans, vents in the walls.
Most companies charge by the size of the job, not by the hour. Make a list of everything you want done, and then agree on a price.
You should always require a detailed estimate so that you know what to expect.
On average, our members have reported spending about $230 for a deep clean, and that's about $100 more than a standard clean. And if you're looking to hire a house cleaner for the first time, you shouldn't be surprised if they recommend a deep cleaning as your first visit.
Before hiring anyone to clean your home, Angie says to look for a company that's bonded and insured. Also, ask specifically what their policy is on replacing anything that may be broken during cleaning. The service should provide all necessary supplies, but if you have specific products you want used, you may need to supply those yourself. This is Peyton Kingston, reporting for News 25.
News 46 Weather Cam is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, it's time to take a look outside at our current conditions through our Glenn Lerner weather cam. And look at that dusting over the mountains. Yes, there is snow, sleet, rain, and even some hail, depending on which direction you're traveling. We'll take a closer look at your forecast and what else you can expect right after this break.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue. So this morning we all woke up to a lot of snow, both here in the valley and in Las Vegas. So if you were up early enough to enjoy that, I hope you all had fun. And now rolling into today's highs, it's 42 degrees in Pahrump, 45 in Amargosa, 58 in Death Valley, 42 in Beatty, 31 in Goldfield, 28 in Tonopah, and 35 and 32 in Fallon and Fernley. For tonight, 28 degrees in Pahrump, 32 in Amargosa, 41 in Death Valley. In Beatty, it's 30 degrees, 15 in Goldfield and Fallon, 11 in Tonopah, and 13 in Fernley. Tonight in Pahrump, we're expecting partly cloudy skies, a low of 28 degrees, our average is 37. Sunset at 5:31 p.m., winds out of the north at 9 miles per hour, gusts up to 13, and a 10% chance of rain. For tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 48 degrees, a low of 25. Our UV index up to 4. Sunrise at 6:23 a.m. Winds out the north at 10 miles per hour, gusts up to 15, and 37% humidity. Looking ahead to our 7-day, we've got a lot of cloudy skies rolling in for the weekend. They're going to hang out till next Wednesday, and then sunny skies set to return next Thursday. For our temperatures, we're continuing the pattern of increasing. On Friday, we have a high of 48. On Saturday through Monday, we're going to jump up into those mid-50s. And Tuesday through Thursday, we're going to be up into about those mid-60s. Our overnight's showing the very similar pattern. On Friday, we're going to have a low of 25. On Saturday and Sunday, a low of 31 and 35. And on Monday through next Thursday, we're going to be dancing around in those mid to high 40s. So with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks so much, Michael. And this breaking news just into the News 25 newsroom. Emergency crews are currently working on a single vehicle rollover on South Highway 160. And we will have further details as they come in and on later editions of News 25. And remember, be careful out there on those roadways. There are advisories and warnings about ice and slick road conditions. So remember, please slow down and stay safe. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Eunette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we will see you again tomorrow. Good night.